software update out. I am videoing this with my iPhone 10. My iPhone 5, my backup phone, is in here. I have not updated it yet, and that is why we were just kicked off Pandora. If this happens, unplug the phone, plug it back in. Open up Pandora, it'll start playing. This is not a detrimental error, it's a simple fix. Get that phone into your computer, plug it in, update it. You should not have this problem again. When things like this occur, they are simple. We unplug our phone, we plug them in, and they work. I will press the arrow button over again. I will bring up a new icon, Bluetooth audio. When a phone has been paired to this unit, Bluetooth audio will allow you to stream music wirelessly from the phone to the radio. With an Android phone, this is the best way to get your music to play on the radio. My experience with iPhone is best through USB, but any phone paired up for the sake of making and receiving calls will double as a phone that can be used to play music. I will move over again and bring up our last source, which is aux 1. Auxiliary 1 in this vehicle is a tiny auxiliary jack here. Nowadays, these are quite useless. However, any device with a headphone output can be plugged in here. It is very unlikely most people will be using that these days, but it is included in the radio. It's worth mentioning on this radio there is an aux 3 input as well. Aux 2 is USB. Aux 3 is a set of triple RCAs. Assuming you want to put a game console in here, maybe a rear entertainment system, it can be wired to this unit as well. I've turned it off on this unit because I have no use for it. Now, I'm going to jump back. I'm going to bring up some regular old FM radio. And now we're going to get into the navigation portion of this unit. Here on the hard buttons of the radio, this is our navigation button. Pressing it once will bring us to a nav screen. We want to accept this warning message. It is telling us not to operate the vehicle while using the navigation. We want to make sure we're safe. On the navigation screen, plus and minus will zoom in and zoom out. Here is your traffic icon. Whenever you see these black bars, it indicates that the unit is getting traffic updates in your area. If you were to press this, it is going to populate that list. All events. This unit is now picking up over 300 events in the area. But if you notice in the columns, these are all events and these are events on the route. We have no route programmed and therefore none of this is relevant to us right now. So I will be hitting the back button. Here on the bottom-ish of the screen, this is the compass that dictates what screen we are seeing. This is the screen I prefer. This screen here will allow the radio to turn while we are driving. That message you just saw there, the TuneIt app fail. I am using an older iPhone. I do not have TuneIt turned on the radio. That is an app that allows you to tune the equalizer from the phone, but I have it off. That phone that I've been using there is in a mode so it does not ring while I'm demonstrating. By pressing this compass button, it will change the view. This is our three-dimensional view. It looks great if you're driving around congested cities, Manhattan, Boston, DC. You will get three-dimensional viewings of certain buildings. Personally, I don't like this view because I don't feel that you see enough of the roads. This next view here, the compass, will have the arrow pointing up. This is a north-up mode. This is a great mode if you find yourself lost and you need to quickly know what direction is north. The problem with this mode, if you are traveling south, everything on the map will be inverted in the wrong direction. This is not my recommended mode. I use a map moving mode. As we drive, we will always be heading up on the map. We are represented by the blue arrow and the map will move with us. I find this view mode most informative, the most street names here as well. While we are using the GPS, we can drive around and just have the map present without actually navigating somewhere. We can press this button here and this will bring up a split screen. This will show us the map and what we're listening to on the radio, or whatever music source we have. Very cool when using your iPod or iPhone, very cool when using satellite because you'll get a heck of a lot of information up there. If you'd like to go back to full screen map, you can just press the map here. If you want to go to full screen music, you can press the full screen music button. The two home buttons here in the center, music and nav, they will toggle also between the two sources. I'm on music, I'm on map. Music, map. And again, the split screen here. I'm a fan of the split screen on a long drive. So, most important on nav, we want to enter a destination. I'm going to press the menu button right here. This is going to bring us up to a screen that looks like the radio screen. The icon on the top that is highlighted directly coincides with what's on the bottom of the screen. So we don't have a route planned. We don't need information on our current location. We need to go to somewhere. So that is what's highlighted. We want to find an address. I'm going to click Find Address. You will notice that this unit is very, very fluent. City, street, Providence. We always want to ensure that the state is correct. We can spend hours looking for a city in the wrong state. So as long as we're staying in New York, we're good to go. This unit will always populate the state that you are currently in, and obviously we're in New York. If you travel to California, as you are traveling, it will change the state that pops up in this screen. I'm going to start with city. It will always populate the city that you are currently in, which happens to be Austin. So that's great. If we need to type over this, we do not need to backspace it. This is like a computer. It's highlighted. We just start typing and it will override. We're going to type in a new address for the sake of demonstration. We're going to say Peekskill. Actually, let's say Pleasantville. First thing that came up. I want Pleasantville. There is no need to keep typing. I am just going to click it. Now I decide I don't want Pleasantville. I don't want to enter a street name. I made a mistake. I'm going to hit back. Here I am. Pleasantville is still lit. I was wrong. I don't want any of these. Back, space. I don't want Austin either. I'm going to come in and I'm going to type in my Peekskill address. Just for the sake of demonstration. It has given us the only two possible cities in the state of New York that have Peekskill in them. I'm going to select Peekskill. Now I'm making up this address, so it's asking me for a street name. I'm going to assume that in Peekskill there is a main street, and I'm going to start typing it. You will notice the non-possible letter selections are grayed out. Main Street, done. I'm going to assume there's a 1 Main Street, but I'm not going to promise you that. I'm going to type 1, and then I'm going to type done. And you will notice it tells me 401 Main Street. The unit has by default ruled out that there is no 1 Main Street, Lord knows why, but nonetheless, here we are at 401 Main Street, the first number that they have with a 1 in it. On this screen, if I were to press information, it will give me latitude and longitude of 401 Main Street, quite useless to me. If I press confirm, it will take us there. If I press more, it will give me the opportunity to add this address to the book, set it as a home address, show cursor, that will just bring us back to where we were. Places around cursor. If we were going to be traveling, we could put in the address to our hotel, get to this point, hit the more button on the previous screen, hit places around cursor, and find restaurants or other businesses around the area we will be traveling to. I don't want to add it to the address book and I don't want to set it at home, so I'm going to hit the back button. Now, I'm going to press confirm. By pressing confirm, it will plan the route. The top of the screen is giving us an estimate on how long it will take us to get there, 20 minutes.
Turn right.
How many miles, how many gallons of gas and such. With respect to fuel economy, I find this screen fairly useless with all due respect. All I want is to get to my map. When I'm looking at my map, it is telling us our position and where we want to turn. It is very important to know with this specific radio, we are represented by that small dot. We are not the arrow. The arrow is designed to stay on the road. The dot is us. The reason that is important is you will find at times that the arrow is making a turn up here, but your dot is a little further behind. Always pay attention to the dot. The reason we are the dot is because the arrow will make sure to keep us on roads, but the dot is more realistic. We're in my shop's garage right now, which is slightly off 9. Realistically, 100 feet back from the road, give or take. The unit is telling us to pull out of here and make a right-hand turn headed north on 9. The radio does some great things with respect to keeping you current. The top of the screen is telling you where your next turn will be. We're turning onto Route 9. It will tell you the current road that you're on. Geneva Road, that is the side street on my building. My next turn will be placed here. It's 100 feet away. If I did not hear the instruction, I can press it.
Turn right.
And it will repeat its last instruction to me. Here we have a distance of 11 miles to our destination, an arrival time of 6:25. Current time is 6:04. The faster we drive, the slower we drive, those things will change there. Here, there is traffic. We know that because the black bars are present. However, it does not impact us in the least because no icon has appeared, or window rather, telling us there's traffic on our route. This radio is designed to offer us a reroute if it saves us a certain amount of time. I have that time set at 15 minutes. In other words, if there is traffic and it is not going to save me more than 15 minutes to be rerouted, I am not interested. That is adjustable from 1 minute, or 5 minutes rather, up to 1 hour. For 15 minutes, I am not driving in back roads, but for 20, I'm interested, and the unit would populate a window indicating traffic and next indicating reroutes. We could accept or decline them. If we want to see a turn-by-turn of where we're headed, we can click on the top of the screen, and it will give us a route itinerary. We can scroll this baby, or we can simply press the arrows down and go through every turn. Now I can hit the back button. On this screen, one of the things I like the best about an Alpine, assuming we make this turn and our next turn is a mile away, 2 miles, 100 miles, I may not want to be glued to this screen. I may come over to my music screen. Here I am, I'm driving, I'm listening to my music, and I come up on a turn. The Alpine unit is very intuitive. It knows that it needs to get us back to the map. We do not need to touch a single thing. The unit will automatically switch back to the map, speak to us, mute the volume of the radio, tell us where to turn, and after we've completed the maneuver, it will go back to the music screen. Again, that